Namaste, good morning, students. I hope all of you are fine and doing well. So today we will be starting up with our chapter 3, human skeleton and nervous system. So I hope all of you are ready for that. I want all of you to hold a pencil and a rough notebook in your hand so that you can note down the important facts. So since we have already covered till joints, so I will be recapitulating the entire chapter with you, and then we will be focusing on joints. So a quick recap. Functions of the skeleton. First of all, going to the functions, you should know what is the skeleton. So what is the skeleton? Are 206 bones combined together to form skeleton system. So human skeleton consists of how many bones? 206 bones. So now what is the function of the skeleton? Why humans have this skeleton? So the first function of the skeleton is that the skeleton protects the soft internal organs. So now, can you tell me that the rib cage protect which vital organs? Yes, it protects lung and heart. So now we also know that skeleton system gives strength, shape, and support to our body. So now imagine if you do not have skeleton. So we will be just looking like an octopus. So we will not be having any shape. And yes, our body will not be supported by anything. So skeleton system is very essential for us. So now our bones are made up of important minerals. It is mainly made up of calcium and phosphorus. So, my dear friends, you also know that the bones have bone marrow inside. And yes, you are right. The bone marrows are responsible for preparing red blood cells, which are also known as RBCs. The main parts of the skeleton system are number one, the skull. The skull is present in our head, and you all know that the skeleton consists of 22 bones. And out of these 22 bones, 8 in the skull and 14 in the face. So all these bones are joined together with the fixed joints. So we will be focusing further on that. What do we mean by joints? But you know that you should know that there are the 22 small bones which combine together to form a skull. So now the skull is also a very important part of the skeleton system. Why? Because it protects the brain, and brain is responsible for everything, which whatever we think, we learn, we perform our daily functions. Brain is supporting in that. So most joints are immovable. So joints, what is the joint? Joint is a part where the two bones join together, okay, as its name indicates. So all the bones present in the skull are made up of immovable or fixed joint, but only the lower jaw is attached by a movable joint. So that's why I'm able to speak. Can you see while talking to you, my mouth is opening and closing? It is just because my lower jaw is having a movable joint over here. So now, so do you know that we have a backbone which goes from the neck to the lower back of our body? So it is present in the center. It is also known as spinal cord, and it consists of 33 vertebrae. Yes, my friends, 33 vertebrae, and 33 vertebrae is a plural, but the vertebra is a singular of it. So vertebra and vertebrae. Vertebrae is the plural and vertebra is the single. So 33 vertebra joined together to form our spinal cord. So these multiple small bones help in twisting, turning, and bending. So what if you have a single, bone? If all of you are having pencil in your hand, so if you are having a pencil in your hand, can you just bend that? No, it is not possible to bend any pencil or pen. See, there is a pencil in my hand, so it is not having any joints in it. That it is a one single, you can say, bone, so it is not flexible. I can't move. But on the other hand, if there are the small parts attached together, so it can be easily able to bend and move. So can you bend your back? Yes. Can you move it up and down? Yes, it is possible. Why? Because these are movable. So if you will see, if you remember that we have seen the vertebra, they are joined together with what? What is present in that? A cartilage is present, which help them to move freely, and they do not have any kind of friction, or you can say that they are not rubbed together. So that's why cartilage is present between each vertebra. Okay. So that's all about the spinal cord, and which vital organ the spinal cord protects. It protects our spine. Okay. So now the next is the rib cage. So rib cage, where the rib cage is present? Yes, you are right. The rib cage is present in our chest. So rib cage consists of 12 bones. And out of these 12 bones, 10 bones are attached. Can you feel a bone here in the center? They are attached to the chest bone, which is also known as sternum. Sternum, sternum. This is the are also known as breastbone. So it is present in the center, and our 10 bones of the rib cage are attached to it. But why don't then two a pair of the bones are not attached? Yes, they are not attached. Why? Because when we breathe, our lungs expand. You all have studied in class 3. Yes, our lungs expand when we inhale, and our lungs contract when we exhale. So that's why to make that lungs move, we have two floating ribs. That two pair of ribs which are not attached to the sternum, they are known as floating ribs. Why? Because they float, they are not attached to the our sternum or our breastbone. So now after that comes, what is the next part? Yes, you are right, it's limbs. So earlier we were walking on all our fours, so that's why we name it as forelimb, which are in front, and hind limbs, which are behind it. Okay. Fore means in front and hind means behind. Although now we can say that these are the upper limbs and our legs are our lower limbs, but the appropriate word for them is forelimbs for the arms and hind limbs for the legs, because earlier we used to walk on all fours. So we have pair of arms. Yes, we have two. Yes, we have pair of arms and we have pair of legs. The long bone in the upper arm is known as humerus. Not humerus that it is a funny. If you will see carefully, it is having the spellings Humerus, not Ous. So it is not humerus that is funny. So you have to remember the spellings as well. So the longest the bone of our forelimb is known as humerus, and it is attached to the two smaller bones. The thigh bone is also called femur. Now, where the thigh bone is present is, of course, it is present in thigh. In our legs, it is the longest bone and the strongest bone in the human body. We have already discussed this. Yes. So the feet and hands are made up of bones, 27 in hands and 26 in feet. But do you know that our forelimbs also have 30 bones and our hind limbs also have 30 bones? How? So 27 bones are present in hands. So this hand is having how many bones? 27. And two thin bones are present in this. Okay. And in here, the one bone is present, which is known as humerus. So it makes 30. But same as in case of the legs, 26 bones are present in the feet. Similarly, one main bone, femur, is present in thigh, and two bones are present in our lower leg. And now it makes 29. Yes. So we have calculated it right. So where is that 30th bone? 30th bone is present in our knee, which is also known as kneecap. It is also known as patella. Okay. So now, so it is a quick recap. So okay, so friends, now we will be doing joints in detail. So now what is a joint? Yes, joint is a part where the two bones are joined together. Yes. So now each bone is joined to the another bone. So they need something to get attached to it. Yes. So as we attach the two pieces of paper with the help of a tape, similarly, we have a tape in our body that is known as ligament. So ligament is the part of the joint which help two bones to stick together. Okay. So they work as a tape. So the place where the two bones meet is called a joint. The substance or the tissue that hold the two bones in their place is called the ligament. So ligament is the part which help to join or hold two bones together. So can you see in this diagram also? So there are two bones. So it is a bone of knee joint. So it is showing this is the femur and this is the fibula and tibia. So fibula is the thinnest bone and this tibia is the little thicker than that of fibula. You can see in the diagram. So above that, you can see these tape-like structures which are present. These are the ligaments. Okay. So ligaments help to join or tape the two bones together. Okay. So now the end of the bones are covered with a cartilage. So now what is a cartilage? Cartilage is, you can say, a material or a fluid or a jelly-like thing which help two bones to rub together. They avoid two bones to rub together. Okay. So what will happen if there will be no, the soft tissue present in that? What will happen? So at the joint, the two bones will rub together and they will deteriorate with time. Do we want our bones to deteriorate? No. So that's why the God made cartilage. So cartilage help two bones to rub together. So now the end of the bones are covered with a cartilage to protect from wear and tear due to the regular rubbing of the joint against each other. So what happens when we bend our knees? Two bones are rubbed. When we walk or we bend, our bones will rub together if there will be no this cartilage present in it. Except the joints in the skull, all our joints are movable. So only in the skull, we have already studied that. How many bones our skull have? Do you remember? Yes, you are right. 22 bones. Okay, out of which 8 bones are present in skull and 14 bones are present in our face. And only one bone out of it is movable. Okay. So now cartilage. So now what is cartilage? We already discussed about the cartilage. Cartilage is a tough elastic tissue in the joint of the ankle, knee, elbow, and also below the vertebrae. Yes, do you remember when I discussed with you spinal cord? I told you that each vertebra is having cartilage in between so that the two vertebra do not get rubbed together. So vertebrae is plural, the vertebrae in the backbone. The cartilage prevents the bones from rubbing against each other and wearing out. We have just discussed this. The cartilage is found in the tip of your nose here. This is our tip of the nose. Here the cartilage is present. Can you see in this diagram? It is written upper lateral cartilage and the lower lateral cartilage. So this is the cartilage part. Yes. Can you feel it? Yes. All of you feel with me? Yeah, right. Cartilage is found in the tip of your nose and the outer ear. Here also cartilage is present. Okay. So now types of joints. So we have various types of joints which are present in our body. So can you see in this diagram, the first joint is shown here, pivot joint. This pivot joint is connecting skull with the neck, and this ball and socket joint, this is joining our shoulder blade with that humerus. And here, this pelvic girdle is again joining femur. Again, this joint is ball and socket. So ball and socket joint is present both in our shoulder as well as in our pelvic girdle. And below that, there is a hinge joint. Hinge joint is present in our elbow. Okay. So then we will not be discussing this ellipsoid and saddle joint, but we will be discussing this gliding joint. Gliding joint is present in our feet as well as in our hand. So there are 8 bones here present on this side, our wrist, which glide on each other to make our wrist and our foot move. Okay. So the ball and socket joint, hinge joint, pivot joint, and gliding joint we will be discussing. So this is the ball and socket joint. So this is a ball which is fixed into this socket. You can see in this diagram, this ball is moving inside this socket. So it is just like a ball with which you play, and this is a socket in which it moves. So now we will be seeing the movement. So it is doing up and down movement, as well as it is revolving around the axis and rotating also. Can you rotate your arm? Yes, we can. And we can rotate like this also, and we can move it on axis. It is just because of our ball and socket joint. So ball and socket joint allows the movement in all the directions, almost a circular movement. Okay, why? Because the ball is moving inside the socket. So now next is the hinge joint. So where I told you that hinge joint is present, yes, you're right, it is present in our elbow. So that's why we can move just up and down. Have you ever seen when you open a door, there are hinges inside? Yes. So that hinges are, I'm rotating my camera, you can see here as well. So there is a hinge. So can you see this part? This is a hinge by which I can open my door and I can close my door. So similarly, hinge joint will work inside our body also. So the hinge joint basically helps to move like this. Okay, so it is present in elbow. So now you can see, so this is how it works. Okay, so this, our bone are working together like this. So they are joined so that we can move and like this. Okay, so the now next is the hinge joint. Okay, so they are showing how the skeleton smiley is moving this elbow with the help of the hinge joint. So how this is connected. So this is our humerus, this is ulna. This is how they are joined together. Now, hinge joint allows the movement in only one direction, up and down. So you have seen that. Can we move our arm backwards? No. Why? Because the hinge only allows to move up and down only in one direction, not in two directions. So even same in the case of fingers also, we can just move like this. Okay, and toes also. So it is a hinge joint is present here. So this is a pivot joint which is joining our spinal cord with our skull. So this is how we can rotate our neck. So this is a skull. So here also in the skull, you can see that these are the joints. So these cracks you are seeing in the skull, they are not the cracks, but they are joints. They are immovable or fixed joints we talked about earlier. So this is how our neck rotates with the help of the pivot joint. It is just like a pencil fixed with a ball on the top. So it can rotate like this. Okay, it is rotating like this. So thank you. I hope you have learned and enjoyed this video. So I will be happy if you will be revising this part from your book, and we will be continuing tomorrow. Thank you.